Okay, everybody, make sure that you do not make the mistake of focusing on all the missing money. Make sure that all the trillions that vanished, trillions, poof, right up in smoke. Pay no attention to the scamsters behind the green curtain. Folks, now that Vladimir Putin has pointed out 400 million was given to the Clintons, plus those bank speaking fees. Man, old Bill Clinton went around and he talked to all those crooked bankers, and they just stuffed his pockets with more money. The Bushes used to do the same thing. They took really good care of the too big to jail banksters. So now we're going to go into the never-ending, distractions. Remember Maxwell Smart? He used to say, the old never-ending distractions trick. You know, when he was talking into his shoe phone at Chaos and Order. I guess he worked for Order there. Or Control. He worked for Control. You're being controlled, ladies and gentlemen. They do not want you to understand that the massive looting of the U.S. financial system, trillions, that's how they rig and buy the machine. I've spent a little time this morning listening to Pink Floyd's Welcome to the Machine. I had a friend send me that this morning, and he's absolutely correct. The Department of Injustice and the Federal Bureau of Intimidation is making sure that the massive, unbelievable, never before seen in American history looting of the financial system gets buried. They're trying to bury the massive looting of U.S. banks, mortgage companies, Wall Street, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, the endless financial racketeering that's looted so much money, it's just mind-bending, while they've been stuffing politicians' pockets with vast campaign donations. This stuff's been going on since Burt Lance and the Sunshine State Bank during the Jimmy Carter days. And way before. I mean, crooked bankers with crooked politicians are a dime a dozen in American politics. But, yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you examine closely what went down in Houston, Texas during the massive bank and savings and loan robberies of the 1980s, you'll discover that Professor William Black's observations about how the 2005 and 6 bubbles that popped were set into motion during the 70s and 80s, even back in the 1960s. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to be distracted by China. China's the big enemy of the United States, and Russia will shortly, fade into the background, because we do not want to fully audit and investigate the Clinton Foundation and Obama's coffers, and where Obama got a lot of his money, and where the Bushes, oh man, the Bushes were in the bankster gangster pockets like you wouldn't believe. And the FBI just don't want to talk about it. Correct, Christopher Wray? Jeff Sessions, let's talk about how bankster gangsters and unlimited money from title insurance companies and big real estate development companies and all the contractors that got filthy rich from these bust and boom cycles of bubbles and pops and bubbles and pops. That's who's rigging your U.S. elections. And Saudi Arabia and, Israel and Planned Parenthood and, the big Wall Street WAMU Citibanks, Wells Fargo's, Goldman Sachs, you know, the list of gangster banksters is endless. How they buy the machine. Gretchen Morgensen, Bill Moyers, David Bowen, David Dayen, Matt Taibbi. The list is endless, folks. Tyler Duran, I think his name is, over there at Zero Hedge. You know, Matt Taibbi. Professor William Black. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. They robbed the system beyond belief. Just exactly like the way I used to expose it in the Montgomery County Commissioner's Court up at Conroe, Texas, back when Judge Alvin Stahl was on the bench. And then they had a couple of other, Jimmy C. Edwards was county judge here for a while. And then Barb Sadler, and I don't know who's on the bench now, Craig Doyle, I guess. But, yeah, endless rivers of stolen loot. That's how the political parties get financed. And they do it down at the county seats. They do it in the town offices. They do it in the governor's mansion. Oh, God, the governors. The state governments do this stuff endlessly, folks. So I'm going to leave it right there. I'm going to enjoy the rest of my day. My head's kind of pounding. I've been finding out how stupid I really am because I can't program a business copier. And this business copier is about ready to beat me to death. Yeah, we'll leave it right there. And as always, check the links. Look at the links. And hasta la vista. God bless. You betcha. We're coming back.